What is going on, IF Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about what happens to your brain when you decide to fast. Coming up. So we know about the weight loss factor when it comes to intermittent fasting. Of course, it helps you lose weight, it helps you increase fat burning, but there's also another function that it does, the effect of your brain. It does a lot of beneficial things for your brain that I'm going to dive into in this video. So most of the studies that were done for the brain functions and testing and monitoring of the brain has been done with mice. However, there have been human tests done as well that have given the same results. Dr. Madsen did his research on both mice and humans and found very, very interesting outcomes. They compared many different groups of mice that were heavily given energy, which is calories at a consistent rate, and then those which they made fast every single day or periodically. They noticed that the mice with the constant energy flow, constant calorie flow, were the ones that were at highest risk for strokes and Alzheimer's disease. And they noticed with the mice that were fasting that they had higher cognitive skills and better memory patterns. Now, to understand why our body decides to become better when you fast, why the brain decides to enhance itself, is one important aspect. The brain is being challenged. The brain sees you not eating as a challenge. It understands that you have to eat for you to survive, but for some reason you are not. And contrary to what you may think, it doesn't make the brain just huddle up and go into its own little corner. The brain rises to the occasion every single time. And then what this does is the brain has to elevate everything to try to make sure that you can eat. So because of this, the brain actually helps resist stress because it understands that in this situation, you will be under stress. So the brain actually goes in reverse and does a stress resistant protocol in your body to try to get you through this time frame until you can eat something. Now, this even helps with stress when it comes to anything else, because that is the part of the neuron of the brain in which is releasing that into the entire body. So if you're stressed about other things, fasting can actually help you. Because of the same process, the cognitive functions in the human brain also increases. The brain decides that you need to be as sharp as you can so that you can find food. This is why it's most ideal to break your fast when you've completed all your tasks for the day. Because contrary to popular belief, if you go into a test, or if you go into a project, or if you go into anything with importance that requires thought, it is best to go in there completely fasted. But I'm sure you're gonna see that your parents or your mom or your dad or your friends are gonna say, dude, you need to eat your breakfast before you go and take that test, or you're not gonna focus. That is very, very popular among the mass majority, but the truth is very much the opposite. The thing is, your brain doesn't discern what you're using your cognitive abilities for. It just knows that it needs to raise your cognitive ability. It knows that it needs to raise it so that you can go out and find food, because if you cannot find food, you will eventually die. Now, it doesn't restrict you from using that cognitive ability for anything that you like. It's just gonna be elevated for the time being until you start eating. So if you decide that you want to study while fasting, your brain's gonna be elevated, and it's not gonna say, hey, this has nothing to do with eating food, I need you to get up and start eating food. It's just an all-around elevated function. Now, fasting has also been proven to decrease amyloid, and amyloid is something that can really affect you later down the line. You see, what amyloids are is what it takes the protein in your brain and starts morphing and forming that protein into different size and different shapes. That is very, very bad, as those things lead to brain disease, stuff like Alzheimer's and even Parkinson's. But fasting not only decreases that process, it also elevates new protein. So not only are you protecting the proteins in the brain that you already have, you're creating brand new, fresh ones to go along with that pile. And all of this promotes the growth of neurons. And all of that promotes a better, more powerful brain. You see, whenever there's a challenge presented to your brain acts accordingly. And although these pharmaceutical companies and these food companies will lead you to believe that your brain is not up to the task, your brain is very much up to the task. And the problem is that when you add these other elements like medicine and food to tackle certain feelings that you have in terms of stress, in terms of being tired, in terms of not focusing, what you do is you make it dependent on those elements. And the more you do that, the more dependent it becomes. Once you let your brain tackle its own challenges, you become much better off on the other side. The more you know. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you have any other questions to any other videos that I've had in the past, I will have one here, and I will have my subscribe button here. Please go ahead and subscribe for unlimited intermittent fasting videos, of course. I'm your boy Edward V, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a good one. Peace.